Greetings, my dear students. Today let's discuss about the term utility and its types. Meaning and definition of utility. When we consume a commodity, we get some benefits or satisfaction from it. This means that the commodity possesses utility. Utility is generally defined as a capacity or power of a commodity to satisfy a want. It is the basis of demand. Total utility and marginal utility. Total utility is the sum of the utilities obtained from consuming all the units of a commodity. Marginal utility is the utility of an additional unit. It refers to the utility derived from the last unit of a commodity consumed. Here in this example, the utility derived from the first unit is 30. So it is the marginal utility of first unit of ice cream. And the marginal utility of second unit of ice cream is 25. And the marginal utility of third unit of ice cream is 20. Marginal utility of fourth unit of ice cream is 15. And finally, the marginal utility of fifth unit of ice cream is 8. When this person consumes 2 units of ice creams, then his total utility will be 30 plus 25, 55. And if he consumes 5 units of ice creams, the total utility will be the total of utilities derived from all the 5 units. Whereas 30 plus 25 plus 20 plus 15 plus 8, that's equal to 98. Okay. Cardinal utility approach. Cardinal utility theory was developed by classical economists Gaussen of Germany, William Stanley Jevons of England, Leon Walras of France, and Karl Menger of Austria. New classical economists, particularly Alfred Marshall, refined cardinal utility theory. So it is also known as neoclassical utility theory or Marshallian theory. As per cardinal utility approach, utility is measurable cardinally or quantitatively. It means utility can be measured in cardinal numbers like 1, 2, 3 and so on. Assumptions of cardinal utility theory. Utility is measurable in numerical terms. That is, we can measure utility in utility quantitatively. That is the first assumption of cardinal utility approach. And the second assumption is that every consumer is rational and he intends to maximize his or her satisfaction from his or her money income. That is the third assumption. And the fourth assumption is that the consumer has limited income to spend. And the next assumption is utility gained from successive units of a commodity goes on diminishing. That means if we consume more and more units of a particular commodity, the utility gained from the additional units of a commodity goes on declining or diminishing. And the next assumption is that the marginal utility of money remains constant. And the next assumption is the utilities are independent. That is, here we are not considering the substitute goods or complementary goods. And the last assumption is that utility derived from various goods and services consumed by a consumer can be added together, and that is known as total utility. Defects or limitations of Marshallian utility analysis or cardinal utility approach. First criticism against cardinal utility approach is that utility is subjective. That means utility is influenced by personal feelings, taste or opinions. So we won't able to measure it cardinally. That is the criticism, first criticism against cardinal utility theory. And the second limitation is that the cardinal approach assumes that the utility depends upon that commodity alone. It is not correct. This assumption is not correct. That is the second criticism. And another criticism is that the utility analysis is unable to explain the existence of the given goods. Given goods means low income, non-luxury products. Normally, when price increases, demand decreases, and when price decreases, demand increases. But in the case of giffen goods, demand increases as price increases and vice versa. An example for a giffen good is rice. Here in the case of cardinal utility approach, we are not considering giffen goods. And another criticism against cardinal utility approach is that one of the assumption of cardinal utility theory is that is man is rational. It is not correct. That is another criticism. Then the cardinal approach does not study income effect, substitution effect, and price effect. That is another limitation of cardinal utility approach. And finally, the marginal utility of money is assumed to be constant in cardinal utility approach. That is also not correct. That is the last criticism against cardinal utility approach. Ordinal utility approach. The modern economist believes that the utility is a psychological concept, so it is not possible to measure utility quantitatively. The ordinal utility analysis was first introduced by English economist Edgeworth in 1881. As per ordinal utility approach, the use of ordinal numbers is helpful to measure the utility. The numbers like 1, 2, 3, etc. are cardinal numbers, and the first, second, third, etc. are ordinal numbers. Such numbers are ordered or ranked. And a cardinal number is a number that says how many of something there are, such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An ordinal number is a number that tells the position of something in a list, such as first, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. Okay. So as per cardinal utility theorem, utility is measurable quantitatively, just like height, weight, length, etc. But as per ordinal utility approach, we won't be able to measure utility quantitatively, but we can rank the goods or combinations of goods in the order of our preference. For example, as per cardinal utility approach, we can say an ice cream gives 30 utils of satisfaction and chocolate gives 20 utils of utility. But as per ordinal utility approach, we can say whether chocolate gives more or less utility than ice cream. Okay. So these are all about utility. Thank you.